Good morning, and welcome to the Financial Optimist. And today I want to talk about a topic that I call Your Hobbies Keep You Poor. There's many ways to entertain ourselves. Some of them cost a fortune, some of them cost almost nothing. But at the end of the day, is there really a major difference in how much fun or entertainment we get out of it? I would argue not enough of a difference to justify the cost. Hobbies that are insanely expensive, perhaps maybe a little bit funner, but at the added cost, are they really worth it? And as for me, what I've chosen to do in my life is I want to keep my expenses low when I'm younger. That way I can save more money and I can retire years ahead of schedule. And then after I'm retired, then I can really enjoy some of those more expensive hobbies then. But for now, I'm going to focus on having hobbies that are affordable. Let's go over some examples here. Take a look at some fishing boats. You look at how much these boats cost. You've got $28,000 here, $27,000, $30,000. 38,000, 40,000. I mean, these are the price of cars. And this is not something you drive to work every day. This is just a hobby you do a few times a year. And you look down here, we have six-figure amounts, 285, 270, 160. Like this boat right here costs more money than I spent on this entire house I'm in right now. I mean, that's insanely expensive for just something you're going to use a few times a year. And then, of course, for this price, you look over here at the payment calculator. They could even estimate how much your monthly payment's going to be. And so for that boat of $159,000, they estimate $1,200 per month. That's how much some people pay on rent for an apartment. But you're not covering a basic necessity of life. You're covering a luxury item, a hobby, entertainment. So I would say if you're a normal middle-class American, these types of boats are just too far out of the price range to really be affordable. Especially if you're focusing on an early retirement, you're focusing on buying a house younger in life. Getting hobbies like these is just off the table. Now, there are some people that will go find a used fishing boat off Craigslist for a couple $1,000s. In that case, that's much more affordable. But compared to these here, these boats are really just a toy for the rich. So let's look at another hobby now. What about RVs? So you have here $45,000, $29,000, $32,000. You have many different RVs here at different price points. Some of them are over $100,000 for an RV. Now, granted, this one comes with the truck and the camper. This one just comes with the camper. You have to buy a truck separately. But you're talking even tens of thousands for a cheap one and over $100,000 for an expensive one. And so you look at that and you realize, just how often are you going to go camping? A couple weekends a year, a week here, a week there. Most people won't go camping more than a few times, especially with the monthly payments. If you're paying over $1,000 per month, here at $995 a month is the estimated payment for this Winnebago. You have to think, with all the payments you're paying on this thing, how much overtime are you going to have to work just to keep it? That means you're going to have to work extra overtime at your job just to make payments on your toys, and then you never have time to use the toys because you're always working hard to make the payments. And so you're spending a lot of money on something that only gives you a limited amount of joy a few times throughout the year, and it costs so much money, it can delay your retirement by several additional years. Like this kind of money here, $132,000. You can buy a condo a lot of places. You can buy a house in some places. Like this house here, I paid less than that much for. So you can find affordable houses depending on where you live. And so as I look at the ROI of these more expensive hobbies, I realize the return on investment is absolutely abysmal. The amount of money you spend is atrocious. The amount of fun you get back just isn't enough to justify it. So what about something else? Jet skis. A little cheaper, $7,000, $9,000, $12,000. $15,000, $22,000. It's a little less, but still, it's a fairly expensive hobby. For something you're going to use a few weekends here and there throughout the year, that's an awful lot of money. So, is there some form of entertainment? Is there a hobby you can have that has a much better ROI or return on investment? And the answer is yes. There's actually quite a few things. Let's take the most popular one there is. Video games. I have here a few Call of Duty titles I pulled up. And this one here, the newer one, is $70. Some of the older ones are $60. This old title here is $40. And of course, you can always buy older games for much less than that. I've bought plenty of games off Steam for less than $5. You can get all kinds of deals. Just wait till Christmas or New Year's rolls around. There's usually some kind of a special they have running. And so you look at these games, you realize you're spending less than $100 for a game. In some cases, 2 games for $100. And you're getting hundreds of hours, perhaps thousands of hours of fun out of it. This is something you don't have to wait for a weekend off of work. You don't have to wait for your 2-week paid vacation. You can just play this now. You have an hour off work. You have 2 hours here, 3 hours there. You can just play games for a few hours. So the overall ROI, the return on investment, is absolutely amazing for video games. You don't really spend that much on them, but you spend hundreds of hours per game. Now granted, if you buy a very large library of games, you can spend hundreds of dollars, maybe $1,000 getting the games. If you get yourself a gaming PC, you can spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. Yes, it's a hobby which can get out of hand, but assuming you have a modest gaming PC for, let's say, $1,000, and you get yourself a modest library of games for a few $100s, you're talking $1,500, you have yourself a hobby that you can enjoy for years and years and years to come. But there is another hobby which has an even better ROI than video games. That would be board games. Just think of this. How many of you have a game of Monopoly in your closet right now? 80% of you? 90% of you? I mean, the ROI on these things is insane. Here we have $15 for a brand new game of Monopoly, and you can play this for hundreds of hours, thousands of hours. And not to mention, these things can last for a lifetime. Like if you go to your parents' house and open their cupboards, I guarantee you're going to see board games that are in their cupboards that were made before you were even born. Absolutely incredible. And not to mention, you're not just having fun, you're building friendships, you're spending time with your family. You're building actual genuine connections with other human beings while at the same time having a ton of fun. So board games are one of the most affordable and one of the best hobbies out there because you're getting so much from it and it asks so very little of you, just $15. Here we have a game of Risk, a little more expensive at $25, but again, a very fun game. And you think about it, let's say over the next 10 years, you play 25 games of Risk with your family or with your friends. You effectively pay $1 per game. But if you go to the movie theaters, you may spend $20 on a movie ticket, and you get 2 hours of fun. Here you're spending $25, so barely more than the price of a movie ticket, and you're getting 10 years worth of fun, 20 years worth of fun, 30 years worth of fun, hundreds of hours during that time period. And the price you pay is so little. So that's why board games are a really great investment into your own personal entertainment. And when you're done with it, you can even sell it, such as this person here. We have a lot of 9 used board games for sale for $40, and of course, you could always make an offer, talk them down to $30. And with $34 shipping here, you realize that's less than $10 per game buying them used. And so if you're looking to buy a bunch of board games for yourself, you could buy a whole box full of board games for not that much money, less than $100, and you have yourself here a decade worth of fun, 2 decades worth of fun. And you could build friendships with it as well. And so you realize board games are truly an incredible hobby to have. They don't take much money, but they're so much fun. Like if I have a choice between playing a board game or going out on a boat out in the hot sun all day, honestly, I'd rather stay home and play a board game. That's my personal take. I understand some people have other preferences for their hobbies, but you have to keep the price in mind. And here at the Financial Optimist, I'm optimistic I can retire years ahead of schedule. And one of the ways to do that is by choosing hobbies that are affordable. And so if I chose an expensive hobby like this, that could delay my retirement by several additional years because of the cost. If I buy a few of these and spend my time playing games as my hobby, I could retire years earlier because I have more money going into savings and investments. So this is one of the many money-saving tricks that I can share with you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.